You are standing in tall grass when a herd notices you, and suddenly the biggest animals in the valley begin to move away from you, not because humans were evil, because survival taught animals that a small group of upright creatures could become a serious problem. A sharp stone flashes, smoke rises through the trees, footsteps keep coming. For many animals, humans were not the fastest predator. They were the predator that did not give up. By the end of this video, you will understand why ancient humans could become frightening to animals long before cities, guns, or metal weapons existed. And the answer is not that humans were physically unstoppable. Often, they were weaker, slower, and more vulnerable than the animals around them. But they adapted. Imagine dry grass brushing against your legs, volcanic cliffs on the horizon, and a lakeshore filled with tracks. You do not need to outrun every animal. You need to know where it will go. In prehistory, knowledge could be sharper than teeth. Researchers discovered that ancient hominins at Isle left stone tools and evidence of large animal butchery across layers dating from roughly 1.2 million to less than 500,000 years ago. At first, researchers thought early humans may have mostly arrived after other predators had already killed animals. Then they realized the location itself may have helped hunters predict where prey would pass. The Rift Valley floor was about 60 kilometers wide, with steep escarpments helping restrict east-west movement. That meant animal paths could become predictable. A herd might be faster than you, but if you knew the narrow route, the water source, or the escape path, speed was no longer the only advantage. This is why animals may have learned to avoid places where humans waited. And then humans became even harder to predict. Archaeologists found wooden hunting weapons at Schöningen in Germany, including at least 10 spears and 7 throwing sticks. At first, people imagined Stone Age hunters as disorganized scavengers carrying crude tools. Then they realized these wooden weapons had been carefully shaped for hunting, while the site also preserved flint artifacts and the butchered remains of more than 50 horses. Recent dating research places the famous Schöningen spear horizon at about 200,000 years ago, rather than the older dates often repeated in documentaries. That matters. These were not random sticks. They were part of a hunting toolkit used near an ancient lakeshore. For an animal, a human hand was no longer empty. It could throw danger from a distance, or bring danger close with a spear. And the next advantage was even more disturbing. Researchers discovered puncture injuries on 120,000-year-old fallow deer bones at Neumark Nord in Germany. At first, archaeologists could not be certain whether ancient weapons had truly killed the deer. Then, they realized CT scans and ballistic experiments matched the damage made by close-range thrusting spears. This was dangerous hunting. It meant getting close enough to a frightened animal to strike it. But it also suggests coordination. One hunter could distract, another could block an escape route, another could approach with a weapon. For prey, humans did not always look like one predator. They could act like a moving wall. And a moving wall can change the entire landscape. Fire made that wall glow in the dark. Researchers discovered that evidence for early fire is difficult to interpret because natural fires, later disturbance, and damaged sediments can all confuse the archaeological record. At first, it seemed simple. Burnt material must mean humans controlled fire. Then they realized the science is more careful than that. Recognizable evidence for regular fire use becomes much stronger around 400,000 to 300,000 years ago in parts of Europe, although researchers still debate exactly when fire became habitual in different regions. Fire gave humans light after sunset. It offered warmth. It may have helped keep some predators at a distance. And it made a camp visible, noisy, smoky, and unfamiliar. An animal could flee a single human, but a group with weapons, knowledge, and fire was something else. Imagine smelling smoke where there was no wildfire. Imagine hearing voices after the sun disappeared. Imagine realizing the strange upright animals would still be there in the morning. What would you do? You would probably keep your distance. But this story is not just about humans becoming better at frightening animals. It is also about humans becoming better at protecting each other. Researchers studying a Neanderthal child from Cova Negra in Spain found evidence of severe inner ear pathology, and the child survived to at least around 6 years old. At first, the bones seemed to tell only a story of illness. Then researchers realized that survival with severe hearing and balance difficulties may have required sustained care beyond one parent alone. Although scientists debate how confidently caregiving can be inferred from fossils, that is the real human advantage. Cooperation. A child could be protected, food could be shared, knowledge could be taught, a fire could be kept alive. Honestly, I think this is what makes the story so human. Your brain still scans a dark path for danger. Your body still reacts to sudden movement, strange sounds, and smoke. Those instincts come from a world where humans were often vulnerable too. We cannot know every detail of what happened, but the science underneath is solid. Animals were not necessarily terrified of every ancient human, but evidence suggests they had good reason to notice groups that could track, ambush, cooperate, carry weapons, and return with fire. Before us, animals feared claws. Then they learned to fear the ones holding stones.